Before I get into today's video, I want to take you on a quick trip through memory lane, because what I'm about to show you isn't new. This is a pattern that has been running for decades, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Hydroxycut. You remember Hydroxycut.
But I was fat, and wearing a bikini was humiliating. So I tried Hydroxycut, and wow, what a difference! I quickly lost an incredible 54 pounds. Trust me, Hydroxycut really does work.
The fat burner that was in every gym bag in America in the 2000s. The FDA recalled every single one of their products made in 2009 after at least 23 users developed serious liver problems, jaundice, liver damage requiring transplants, and at least one death. And next we have Airborne, the fizzy tablet an elementary school teacher invented that claimed it could prevent illness. No legitimate medical trials, no real science. They hired 2 people to conduct one internal study and called that their proof. And then they had to pay a $23 million settlement for their false claims. Sensa, I'll give them credit for having the most catchy commercial.
Shake, 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 shake your Sensa, shake your Sensa.
You sprinkled it on your food, and it was supposed to make you feel full and stop overeating. The FTC found no credible evidence it did anything at all. Now it doesn't exist. Every single one had celebrity endorsements. Every single one made promises that science couldn't back up. And luckily, every single one of them had to answer for it. Now let's meet the latest one. So I was at my dentist, getting my semi-annual cleaning like a good boy. Really smart guy, years of school, he runs his own practice, very successful. He's obviously not an idiot. So we chatted for a little bit about gym routines and nutrition, and then he looks at me and says, I got nutrition covered. I just ordered AG1 and I'm good to go. And then I looked at him and I didn't really know if I wanted to burst his bubble. I didn't want to be that guy who's the contrarian, that's just negative Nancy or whatever, but I like my dentist. He's a good guy. So I told him he needed to cancel his order. Not only cancel his order, but if he has a subscription, definitely cancel his subscription. Then he looked at me like I was absolutely insane. What could I possibly know? Andrew Huberman takes this. Joe Rogan takes this. How could this possibly be a giant waste of money? So just in case you don't listen to podcasts, I'll let you know what AG1 is. It's Athletic Greens 1 scoop a day in cold water. The company says it contains 83 with their new next-gen formula, vitamins, minerals, probiotics, superfoods, adaptogens, digestive enzymes, functional mushrooms. The pitch is simple. It's everything you need in one scoop. Your multivitamin, your probiotic, your green supplement, all in one. It costs $99 for a one-time purchase, but hey, if you do a subscription, it's only $79. So that's about $2.63 to $3 per day. And the marketing is brilliant. The AG1 website has a comparison chart showing that if you bought all of these products separately from premium brands, you'd be spending around $225 a month. So at $79, you're actually saving money. That's the pitch. And I want to break down exactly why that pitch is constructed to mislead you. But first, I need to talk about something that most people reviewing this product completely skip over. Here's why my dentist, a highly educated, intelligent professional, was about to spend $79 a month on this. It's not because he researched it. It's because he's heard about it on every podcast he listens to.
Athletic Greens.
From people that he trusts and respects.
The most comprehensive foundational daily nutrition supplement on the market.
AG1 spends an estimated $2.2 million per month on podcast advertising. And that's just their spend on podcasts. They've been identified as one of the top 3 podcast advertisers in the country by total show count, running ads across hundreds of shows simultaneously. Andrew Huberman.
It's the easiest way for me to ensure that I'm getting all of the vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and fiber that I need in my diet.
I love his podcast. He has a PhD in neuroscience and a massive, loyal audience that trusts him on health. I'm one of those people, and is also documented that he's a paid partner of AG1. Joe Rogan.
I take athletic greens.
Another podcast I love, a documented paid partner of AG1. These are not independent endorsements. They are paid partnerships. The exact contract values have never been publicly confirmed, but multiple marketing and media publications have alleged Huberman's deal is worth around $2 million a year, where Rogan's is worth around $10 million a year, allegedly. And then there's the affiliate program. Bryan Johnson, in his public post, alleged that AG1 pays up to $60 for every new subscription an influencer refers, plus a $30 a month reoccurring payment for as long as that customer stays subscribed. He also alleged some partners receive equity in the company. Now, to be fair, AG1 has not publicly confirmed these specific figures, but they also haven't denied them. Think about that math. Refer 1,000 customers and you're making $30,000 a month in recurring income every single month just for keeping your AG1 link in your bio. That's not an endorsement. That is a financial incentive that never turns off. And here's the thing that really got me. Now, you can have your opinions on Bryan Johnson. He's eccentric, but what you can't deny is the dude is obsessed with nutrition and health, spends $2 million of his own money every year on his personal health and longevity protocol. He publicly called AG1 out earlier this year. He said, and I'm quoting directly, AG1 has no real product substance. It is fundamentally an influencer heist. And he posted a cost breakdown. $79 retail price, roughly $19 in total cost. So that's ingredients, packaging, manufacturing, and shipping. That leaves an estimated gross margin of about 76%. 3/4 of what you're paying is not going into the product. It's going into the marketing machine that convinced you to buy it in the first place. And yeah, I know how business works. So I know that there needs to be some sort of margin for the company in order to stay in business. My point is, the massive amount of money that they promote just in marketing is at an insane level for any company. And a little side note, Bryan Johnson, the guy who is insane with his health and his protocols, has never been on the Andrew Huberman or Joe Rogan podcasts, two of the biggest podcasts and biggest proponents for selling AG1. Now, I'm not going to do my conspiracy. That's just an interesting side note for two podcasts that love to talk about health and nutrition, not having a guy who spends $2 million a year on health and nutrition. Make of that what you will. Okay, so let's talk about what's actually inside the bag, because this is where the product gets very clever.
And if you look at the AG1 product, they have around 70 ingredients, 46 of which you have no idea the dose you're taking. The ingredients that they are disclosing, they skim, which means they're far below clinical grade doses. And so what you're getting is basically a green salad.
AG1 lists 75 to 83 ingredients on the label, but almost all of them are grouped into what they call proprietary blends. You can see the ingredients: spirulina, ashwagandha, reishi mushroom. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but you cannot see how much of each ingredient is in the product. The individual doses are hidden. And you might be wondering, why is that such a big deal? This matters enormously because ashwagandha, one of their adaptogens AG1 markets heavily, has been shown in studies to reduce stress and improve sleep, but only at specific doses. The research showing benefits typically use 300 to 600 milligrams. If AG1 has 10 milligrams in their blend, it does nothing, but they can still put it on the label. This practice is called fairy dusting. You add just enough of an impressive ingredient to list it, not enough to actually do anything. You have absolutely no way of knowing whether any of the headline ingredients in AG1 are at doses that do anything. And the company knows that. That's why the doses are proprietary. Bryan Johnson put it this way: AG1 lures you into a false state of confidence by leveraging people you trust,
Athletic greens.
and hiding behind a proprietary blend. The high value ingredients on the label are merely found in trace amounts in the actual supplement. The bulk of the 12-gram scoop, and this is according to Johnson's analysis, is cheap greens and emulsifiers. And the impressive sounding stuff, possibly just enough to read well on a label. And here's where it gets even more uncomfortable for AG1, because they recently tried to pivot towards science to defend themselves. In late 2024, AG1 published a clinical trial in a peer-reviewed journal, the Journal of the International Society of Sports and Nutrition. And this should have been their moment. This should have been the proof that they needed to prove everybody wrong. The study included 30 healthy adults. Half took AG1 for 4 weeks, half took a placebo. They measured their blood biomarkers and gut microbiome changes. The results? No significant changes in blood biomarkers compared to the placebo. The digestive quality of life improvement had a p-value of 0.058. For those who don't know statistics, the standard threshold for significance is 0.05. They didn't clear it. And the microbiome shifts that did show up were described as potentially falling within normal placebo-driven variability. This was a company-funded study with 30 people, and it still didn't hit statistical significance. That's the science that they're pointing to. McGill University's Office for Science and Society, one of the most credible science communication bodies in North America, described AG1 as essentially an overpriced mega multivitamin with all the bells and whistles most people don't need. Dr. Rhonda Patrick, another podcaster that I love, a biomedical scientist, not some random YouTube critic.
Calling, for example, Athletic Greens 1 or AG1 a high quality greens powder is a little misleading. There's very minuscule amounts of the quote unquote superfood complex, not a superfoods type of supplement.
She says it's more accurately described as a multivitamin, which you can buy for $15 a month. And here's something AG1's marketing conveniently doesn't lead with. This all-in-one product that's supposed to replace everything doesn't have vitamin D or iron. And guess what? Vitamin D deficiency is one of the most common nutrient deficiencies in the exact demographic AG1 is targeting. If you're working indoors or not getting significant sun exposure, which is most of AG1 customer base, you likely need vitamin D, and AG1 doesn't have it. So you're still buying another supplement on top of your $79 a month. The product that claims to replace everything doesn't replace everything. You find that out after you subscribe. So what should you actually do instead? That is exactly what we're going to talk about. This is the part that all of the other AG1 critics forget. They tell you it's a scam, which I agree with, and then they leave you hanging. I like you, so I'm not gonna do that. First, if your diet is solid, you're eating real food consistently, you don't need a green powder at all. The bioavailability is so much better. The fiber is intact and it costs a fraction of the price. So eat your vegetables. But I'm realistic and I'm not perfect either. I'm not getting all of my vegetables every single day. If your diet is inconsistent and you know you have gaps, here's what you can do instead. A quality multivitamin runs $15 to $20 a month. A separate probiotic with well-studied strains runs another $15 to $20. That's $35 to $40 per month for essentially the same nutritional foundation with transparent dosing where you can actually see what you're getting. That's $30 to $40 in savings every single month versus AG1 for the same results or better. You're welcome. And listen, if the convenience of one scoop is genuinely important to you and you want to stay in the green powder category, there are a bunch of alternatives at $27 or $45 a month with transparent labels that show you exactly how much of each ingredient you're actually getting. You don't have to pay $79 for a proprietary blend that hides its doses. AG1 is not poison. I want to be clear about that. The vitamins are real vitamins. The probiotics are real probiotics. The problem is not what it is. The problem is the gap between its costs, what it claims, and what the science actually shows. And more than anything, the problem is the billions of dollars of influencer money that got between you and an honest answer. When the people telling you to buy a product are allegedly earning $60 every time you subscribe and $30 a month if you stay subscribed, and in some cases, equity in the company, that's not a recommendation. That's a sales pitch with a very good costume on. This is episode 1 of the Wellness Scam series. We're going to go through pre-workouts, fat burners, BCAAs, testosterone boosters, collagen, detox teas, sleep supplements, because AG1 is not a one-off. It's a business model. And once you understand the business model, you'll never look at the supplement company the same way again. And I'll say this to close. The best case scenario for AG1 is Sensa, the sprinkle-on weight loss powder that got hit with a $26 million FTC fine in 2014 and actually shut down for good. That's a rare outcome. The more likely outcome is Hydroxycut or Airborne. Both got caught lying, both reformulated their product back on the shelves like nothing ever happened. These companies don't die, they just get quieter about their lies and wait for the next generation of customers who weren't around the first time. But here's the thing I want you to really take with you. Even if AG1 disappeared tomorrow, there is already another one coming. There is always another one coming. A new name, a new label, a new celebrity face, a new proprietary blend. The machine never stops. It just rebrands. So stay skeptical, ask questions, do some research, and save your money for the things that actually work. Links to all the sources are down in the description below. And subscribe. If you enjoy this kind of content where you see companies like this get called out that have been scamming people for years, again, hit subscribe. This is just the beginning of this series. And if you found this useful, share it with your dentist.